So it's yeah, like there's a lot. I guess so. We were talking about early access
Hmm.
right
Hmm.
before we started because this game has been in early access since 2017. We're like 90% sure,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? It's certainly been in development since then.
Yeah.
How do you keep so like we're about to kind of like at some point this year go into an early access with making it home,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Um, and like there's a question of how do you make sure you launch an early access, and there's a couple of things that like worry is probably the wrong word, but like one, I want to make sure that people who buy into early access are getting a good experience, so
Sure,
that they're
that's got to
getting
be.
something for their money. That's like
Yeah,
number
that's
one
first and
thing.
foremost, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Second, secondly, then how do you? It's important to to keep people engaged with your game through that early access process because like you want to like it's kind of like there's lots of reasons for doing early access.
Hmm.
Like one is kind of probably the main reason is to get feedback as we're going.
Yeah.
Like we've already got some amazing feedback from the beta, which has really changed the direction of the game,
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
like hugely, and it's been great, and we want to continue that. And the other thing is it's a way of kind of getting people in and kind of building some momentum.
Hmm.
That's very hard when you don't have the budget for advertising and various other things.
Yes.
So how do you keep people coming back? And originally, I thought this game was much more like
Hmm.
like a sim game, like Sim Hospital or something, right?
Hmm.
Not Sim
Hmm.
Hospital, am I talking Theme Hospital,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And I thought, oh, okay, so a game like that is like a sandboxy building game, like as long as there's pieces for people to be creative with, that will keep people in.
Hmm.
But it's very much not that, and it seems like a lot of this content is very bespoke, like it's very handmade is the way I can like all of
Mm.
those stories and stuff have to be very written very specifically,
Yeah.
and these quests are very specific, and it must be very challenging, like the amount of
Mm.
content. This is a
Hmm.
very content heavy game,
Sure. Yeah.
I would say. Does that
Yeah,
is
I
that
think that's
clear?
fair. I
Like
mean, I guess what I don't know for sure, because I guess I haven't played enough of it yet, is to know like how similar each game experience is. Like, obviously,
yeah.
playing through the prologue every time, I
Hmm.
don't know yet if there's like a point where you get to where you can be like, I'm going to start a new pub, I'm going to start a new save or whatever, and you don't have to play the prologue.
It doesn't even feel like I'd want to start a new pub because
Well,
you're doing it like it feels like
there might well be stuff that like on that first day, for instance, I hired
yeah.
the bard instead of the assassin. Now, like that
Okay,
could
yeah.
be like the biggest rookie error anyone ever makes with this game. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
And there was that suggestion that during the prologue, what you do will unlock stuff. And I think, in fact, on my first prologue playthrough, I did a little bit better on one of those events, and it did unlock
Yeah.
like it would say, you know, this character will see you later, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We didn't do that this time.
Hmm.
But I don't, like you said, I don't know if that's worth going back and starting again.
Yeah. I just want to. I feel like I always need to stress this is that I'm not trying to be negative. I'm interested. I'm not saying that this is all bad stuff. It's just
No,
it's very
we're interested
interesting.
in like I think that's the question. Like the question you've asked is like how do you keep people invested in an early access process when keeping people invested in a game at any point in this, you know, even after release is a challenge, isn't it? Like, so it's
Yeah,
not something
I
people.
think I'm just like I'm impressed and amazed by how much content is here already. Like, well, it's how much. Like, I don't how. What's the best way of explaining that kind of handmade thing that I said? Handmade isn't the. I guess it's like saying scripted, isn't it? It's like this is all has to be written, and
Yeah.
how do I like it's not the same as like so we're making it home.
Hmm.
Like we were looking actually at the data from the beta before we jumped on, and like the day we noticed like the day we released a patch where there was new panels for people to play with, that brought people back.
Yeah.
And like, you know, the aim is if you add one new panel, that we're trying to make it so they work with many of them, so it like feels like you're getting more, like we make one more fat panel but we're getting more bang for our buck when we do that.
Yeah. Yes.
Whereas I feel like here they'll have the challenge of like wanting to add that new quest with the new story, and that's all very hard. That's all a lot of work because they're, you know, the amount of writing that was in that prologue, like.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Yeah.